Hello and welcome back to Shakesyear. We are still working on Othello, and today we get to hear from Iago as we round out Act 4, Scene 2. So, Iago has convinced Othello that Desdemona and Cassio are sleeping together, and furthermore, he's brought Othello to the conclusion that both Cassio and Desdemona need to die. Iago has said that he will take care of the killing of Cassio. He thinks that Desdemona should be suffocated in her bed by Othello. Othello agrees. Othello confronted Desdemona one more time, but she didn't know what he was talking about, and he just got angry. So he called her a whore, and he stormed off and left, and Emilia's like, what? She passed up all these other men to be called a whore? This isn't cool. Somebody must have planted this idea in Othello's head, and Iago has come in by this point, and he's like, no, you're silly. Nobody would have planted that in her head. And Desdemona, meanwhile, is like, I've been disowned by my husband, and I don't know what to do, and I'm completely lost, and I can't even say the word whore, much less think about doing whorish things. And Iago's like, go inside and have a bit of a lie down, and this will all sort itself out. So Desdemona and Emilia leave, and then Roderigo comes in, because remember, Roderigo, at the very beginning of this play, wanted to court Desdemona, but couldn't because she'd run off to marry Othello, so he got Brabantio, woke him up in the middle of the night, all of that sort of fun stuff, whatever. And Iago had convinced Roderigo to also go to Cyprus and bring all of his money, thinking that Desdemona would get tired of Othello at some point, so then Roderigo would be able to swoop in. And Roderigo's been trying, and he's been he gave her jewels and all sorts of stuff, which then ended up in Iago's hands, and Iago's done other stuff with them, blah blah blah. Anyway, so Roderigo, not privy to the whole puppeteering thing that Iago is doing, is angry with Iago now because he doesn't have Desdemona yet. So he comes in, and he comes in like guns a-blazing, figuratively speaking, but he's upset, and he's like, you told me to do this and this and this, and I've done all of these things, and I don't have Desdemona, and I'm gonna go, you keep telling me to do all this stuff, I'm just gonna go and talk to her, because that's the most direct way to do this, that's the best way to do this. And Iago's like, no, you can't do that, you can't do that, can't talk to her, can't handle it that way. Convinces Roderigo not to go, but then they start talking about, Iago's trying to convince Roderigo to stay, and he's like, things that you may not be aware of, Othello has been called to go somewhere else that's even farther away, and he's going to take Desdemona with him. And Cassio is supposed to take Othello's place here in Cyprus. So the only way to prevent Othello from leaving is to make Cassio incapable of taking Othello's place. And what might make him incapable of taking his place? You're gonna have to knock him out. And Roderigo's like, what? Seriously? You're telling me take him out? Take him out? And Iago says, aye, if you dare do yourself a profit and a right. He sups tonight with harlotry, and thither will I go to him. He knows not yet of his honorable fortune. If you will watch his going thence, which I will fashion to fall out between 12 and 1, you may take him at your pleasure. I will be near to second your attempt, and he shall fall between us. Come, stand not amazed at it, but go along with me. I will show you such a necessity in his death that you shall think yourself bound to put it on him. It's now high supper time, and the night grows to waste. About it. And then they go off, basically is how the scene ends. So what he's saying here is the only way that Roderigo is going to get what he wants is to kill Cassio. So he knows that Cassio is having dinner with Bianca, because remember there was the whole handkerchief thing, and Bianca's mad at Cassio for bringing another woman's handkerchief to him, so Cassio went to have dinner with Bianca to sort of appease her. So he's like, I know where he's having dinner, and I'll make sure that he leaves there between 12 and 1, and you can jump him, and I'll be there too, so between one or the other of us will kill him, and I'll make sure that you don't feel bad about killing him. I'll show you that he deserves to die, all of that sort of thing, so you feel justified in doing what you're going to do. So we should go. We should make sure that happens. And Roderigo isn't totally sold, But as the two of them leave the stage at the end of Act 4, Scene 2, Iago's like, yeah, I'll show you some more stuff, and then you'll totally be on board with this plan. So that's the end of Act 4, Scene 2. I kind of gotta hand it to Iago for like juggling all these balls and not dropping any of them yet. Like he always has an answer for the next thing that needs to happen so that he can ultimately get what he wants, which is the undoing of just about everybody around him. So we'll see. We'll see if he's ultimately successful in that or not. I'm going to see you tomorrow for more on Shakesyear. Mwah.